Early Retirement and Financial Freedom. Chapter 1. The Freedom Dream. It's Monday morning, 6 a.m. The alarm screams. You hit snooze. Once, twice, maybe 3 times. Finally, you drag yourself out of bed, and that familiar feeling washes over you. That heavy weight in your chest. You think to yourself, I have to do this for another 30 years? You're not alone. What if I told you that this doesn't have to be your story? What if I told you that financial freedom isn't just for the wealthy, the lucky, or the ones born into money? Here's a brutal truth. 78% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. That means if your next paycheck doesn't arrive on time, you're in serious trouble. Bills pile up, credit cards max out, anxiety kicks in. But here's the beautiful truth. You don't have to be part of that 78%. And this audiobook, it's your roadmap out. Let me guess. Every month you sit down and do the math, right? Paycheck comes in, rent or mortgage goes out, student loans, car payment, groceries, utilities. Maybe you grab coffee a few times, maybe you treat yourself to dinner out once or twice because, honestly, you deserve it. And at the end of the month, there's barely anything left, maybe a couple $100, if you're lucky. You're contributing to your 401k, you're doing the right things, but deep down, you know it's not enough. You know that at this pace, you'll be working until you're 65, maybe 70, and that retirement number, it feels impossibly far away. You don't want to work until you're 50. You definitely don't want to work until you're 65. You want freedom. You want choice. You want to wake up on a Monday morning and decide for yourself what you're going to do with your day. Am I right? Here's the good news. No, scratch that. Here's the incredible news. Financial freedom is achievable. And it's not just for trust fund kids or lottery winners. It's a formula, a roadmap, a system. And if you follow it, you can retire early. Maybe not tomorrow, but a lot sooner than you think.
So what is financial freedom? It's simple. It's when your passive income exceeds your living expenses. That's it. When the money coming in from your investments, your rental properties, your dividend stocks, or your side hustles covers your rent, your food, your life. You're free. You don't need a boss anymore. You don't need to trade your time for money anymore. This isn't a fantasy. It's called the FIRE movement. Financial independence, retire early. And thousands of people, ordinary people with average salaries, have done it. They've retired in their 30s, their 40s, and they're living life on their own terms. Some moved to low-cost countries. Some stayed home and traveled part-time. Some started passion projects. Some just relaxed. And you know what? They all started exactly where you are right now. Over the next 10 chapters, we're going to walk this path together, step by step. No fluff, no BS, just the real strategies that work. Here's what you're going to learn. In Chapter 2, we'll unlock the secret weapon of the wealthy, compound interest. You'll understand why starting today, even with just $100, is more powerful than waiting 5 years. In Chapter 3, we'll destroy your debt, because you can't build wealth while you're drowning. We'll break down the exact strategies to eliminate credit cards, student loans, and everything else holding you back. Chapter 4 is all about budgeting, but forget everything you think you know. This isn't about restriction, it's about intentionality. It's about making every dollar work for you. Then we dive into investing. Chapter 5 will demystify stocks, ETFs, and index funds. Chapter 6 reveals the power of tax-advantaged accounts like your 401k and Roth IRA. These are legal loopholes that the rich use, and you should too. By Chapter 7, we're building passive income streams, money that flows in while you sleep. And in Chapter 8, we'll rewire your mindset, because 80% of wealth building is psychology.
Chapter 9 introduces side hustles, extra income engines that can accelerate your timeline by years. And finally, in Chapter 10, we put it all together. we create your personalized master plan, your roadmap to financial independence. Let me tell you about Sarah and Mike. They were both 35 when they decided enough was enough. They were tired, burnt out, stuck in the rat race. They sat down, crunched the numbers, and made a plan. They cut their expenses, maxed out their retirement accounts, started a small side hustle, and invested aggressively. 7 years later, at 42, they retired. Not because they won the lottery, not because they inherited money, but because they had a system. Their investments generated enough passive income to cover their modest lifestyle. Now they spend their days hiking, traveling, and volunteering. That could be you. This is the beginning of your story. But before we can build your empire, we need to know where you're starting from. You can't use a GPS without knowing your current location, right? This is called calculating your net worth. And don't worry, it's simple. Your net worth is everything you own minus everything you owe. Take your savings account, your checking account, your 401k balance, the value of your car, any investments. Add it all up. That's your assets. Now subtract your debts, credit card balances, student loans, car loans, your mortgage, everything you owe. What's left? That's your net worth. And here's the truth. It might be negative right now. A lot of people start there. That's okay. What matters is that you know the number, because you can't improve what you don't measure. So here's your first action step. Today, not tomorrow, today. Grab a pen and paper or open a spreadsheet. List every asset. List every debt. Calculate your net worth. Write it down. Take a screenshot. This is day one, your starting line.
The moment you pressed play on this audiobook, you made a decision. Maybe you didn't realize it yet, but you did. You decided that you're done accepting the status quo. You're done living paycheck to paycheck. You're done trading your entire life for a paycheck. So let me ask you this. 5 years from now, where do you want to be? Do you want to still be hitting that snooze button, dreading Mondays, counting down to the weekend? Or do you want to be financially free? Do you want to wake up and choose how you spend your time? The difference between those two futures is the action you take today. In the next chapter, we're going to talk about the single most powerful force in wealth building. It's the same force that Albert Einstein called the eighth wonder of the world. It's compound interest. And once you understand it, you'll never look at money the same way again. But before we get there, I need you to do one thing. Calculate your net worth. Do it now. Write it down. Because that number, whatever it is about to change. Your journey to financial freedom starts now. Chapter 2. The Hidden Power of Time. Compound Interest. Let me tell you a story about two friends, Sarah and Mike. They graduated from the same college, got similar jobs, and made almost identical salaries. Both were smart, hardworking, and wanted to retire comfortably one day. But here's where their paths diverged. Sarah, at 25 years old, decided to start investing. She put away $500 every single month into a low-cost index fund. She did this religiously for 10 years. Then, at 35, she stopped. She didn't add another penny. She just let it sit there, growing, compounding, working for her. Mike, on the other hand, waited. He thought, I'm young, I've got time. I'll start investing when I'm 35, when I'm more established. And he did. At 35, Mike started investing $500 every month, and he kept going for 30 years straight, all the way until he was 65.
So let's do the math. Sarah invested for 10 years. That's $60,000 total. Mike invested for 30 years. That's $180,000, 3 times more than Sarah. Now, here's the question. Who do you think had more money at age 65? Logic says Mike, right? He invested 3 times more money. But here's the shocking truth. Sarah had more, significantly more, about 40% more to be exact. How is that possible? 2 words: compound interest. Compound interest is the single most powerful wealth-building tool on the planet. Albert Einstein allegedly called it the 8th wonder of the world. He said, "Those who understand it earn it. Those who don't, pay it." So what exactly is it? Let's start with simple interest. If you invest $10,000 and earn 10% in year 1, you make $1,000. Easy. Now you have $11,000. But here's where it gets magical. In year 2, you don't just earn 10% on your original $10,000. You earn 10% on $11,000, so you make $1,100. Now you have $12,100. In year 3, you earn 10% on $12,110. That's $1,210. See what's happening? You're earning interest on your interest. Your money is making money, and that money is making more money. It's a snowball rolling down a mountain, getting bigger and bigger with every rotation. That's compound interest. Your earnings generate more earnings, and those earnings generate even more earnings. It's exponential growth, not linear. Here's the snowball metaphor. Imagine you're at the top of a snowy mountain. You pack a small snowball and push it down the hill. At first, it's tiny. But as it rolls, it picks up more snow. It gets bigger and heavier and faster. By the time it reaches the bottom, it's massive, unstoppable. That's your money when you let compound interest work its magic. But here's the catch. It needs time. The longer the hill, the bigger the snowball. And that's why Sarah crushed Mike, even though she invested way less. She gave her money more time to compound.
Let's get specific. Real numbers, real impact. Say you invest $500 every month, 30 years, average annual return of 8%, which is historically conservative for the stock market. How much do you think you'd have? $734,000. You only put in $180,000 of your own money, but compound interest added over $550,000, more than triple your contributions. Now let's talk about the cost of waiting. If you start investing at 25 instead of 30, just 5 years earlier, how much more do you think you'd have at 65? $50,000? $100,000? Try $200,000. Just by starting 5 years earlier, same monthly contribution, same return, 5 years of time equals $200,000. That's the power of compound interest. Time is your greatest asset. Here's another one that'll blow your mind. Your daily coffee habit. Let's say you spend $5 a day on coffee. Doesn't sound like much, right? Just $5. But over a month, that's $150. Over a year, $1,800. Now, what if instead of drinking that coffee, you invested that money? Let's say for 30 years at an 8% return. That daily $5 coffee habit would cost you $150,000 in lost wealth. $150,000 for coffee. I'm not saying don't enjoy your life, but be aware, every dollar you spend is a dollar that can't compound for you. Now let me teach you a cool trick. It's called the Rule of 72. Want to know how long it takes your money to double? Take 72 and divide it by your annual return rate. If you're earning 8% per year, 72 divided by 8 equals 9. So your money doubles every 9 years. That means if you invest $10,000 today, in 9 years, it's $20,000. In 18 years, $40,000. In 27 years, $80,000. In 36 years, $160,000.
You did nothing. You just waited. And your 10 grand became 160 grand. Now here's where mindset comes in. And this is critical. The average person thinks, $100 a month? That's nothing. What difference will it make? The wealthy person thinks,
$100 a month is $1,200 a year. Over 30 years at 8%, that's $147,000. Every dollar is a soldier in my army, working for me. See the difference? Middle-class mindset says, I don't have enough to invest. Wealthy mindset says, I can't afford not to invest. Here's another truth bomb. Timing beats amount every single time. Sarah invested $60,000 over 10 years. Mike invested $180,000 over 30 years. But Sarah won. Why? Timing. She started earlier. Her money had more time to grow. You don't need to be rich to get started. You need to start to get rich. And the cost of waiting? It's devastating. Every year you delay is a year of compound growth you'll never get back. Procrastination is expensive. Delay is the enemy of wealth. Let's say you're 30 years old. If you start investing $500 a month today, by 65, you'll have over $700,000. But if you wait until you're 35, you'll have less than half, around $400,000. 5 years of delay costs you $300,000. That's the price of, I'll start next year. All right, enough theory. Let's get practical. Here's exactly what you need to do. Step 1. Open an investment account. Today, not next week, today. I recommend Vanguard, Fidelity, or Charles Schwab. All of them are reputable, low-cost, and beginner-friendly. You can open an account online in less than 10 minutes. Seriously, it's easier than ordering pizza. Step 2. Set up automatic transfers. Start with $100 a month. If you can do more, great. If you can only do $50, that's fine too. The amount matters less than the habit. Automate it. Every month, on payday, money moves from your checking account into your investment account. You never see it. You never touch it. You won't miss it. This is the set it and forget it strategy. And it's powerful because it removes emotion. You're not trying to time the market. You're not panicking when stocks drop. You're just consistently, automatically building wealth. Step 3. Do not touch it. This is where most people fail. They start investing, the market dips, they panic, and they sell. Or they see their balance growing and think, hey, I could buy a new TV with this. No, leave it alone. Let compound interest do its thing. The longer you let it sit, the more powerful it becomes. Step 4. Increase your contributions every year by 10%. If you're investing $100 a month this year, make it $110 next year, then $121 the year after. You'll barely notice the difference, but your future self will thank you. So here's the question. 10 years from now, what is your future self going to say to you? Will they thank you for starting today? For taking action? For giving them the gift of financial freedom? Or will they look back with regret, wishing you had started sooner? This month, are you going to invest your first $100? Or are you going to wait another year? Because remember, every year you wait is another year of compound growth lost forever. Compound interest is the hidden power of time. It's the difference between working until you're 70 and retiring at 45. It's the difference between financial stress and financial freedom. But it only works if you start. And the best time to start was 10 years ago. The second best time? Right now. In the next chapter, we're going to tackle the biggest obstacle standing between you and financial freedom: debt, credit cards, student loans, car payments. We're going to destroy them. Fast, strategic, permanent. But before we do, go open that investment account. Set up that automatic transfer. Start your snowball rolling down the hill. Your future is waiting.
Chapter 3. From Debt Slavery to Freedom. Here's a statistic that should wake you up. The average American carries $38,000 in credit card debt. $38,000! And that's just credit cards. Add in student loans, car payments, and mortgages, and the average American household owes over $145,000. Let me be blunt. Debt is financial slavery. It's a chain around your neck, and every month you're working not for yourself, but for the banks, for the credit card companies, for the lenders. Now, you've probably heard people talk about good debt versus bad debt. They'll say things like, a mortgage is good debt because real estate appreciates, or student loans are good debt because education increases your earning potential. Here's the truth. All debt is risk. Some debt might be strategic, but there's no such thing as good debt. There's only less bad debt. And here's the worst part. Remember compound interest from the last chapter? That magical force that grows your wealth exponentially? Well, it works both ways. When you're in debt, compound interest is working against you. Your debt is compounding, growing, multiplying every single day. That credit card balance you're carrying, it's not just sitting there. It's growing, like a tumor. And the longer you ignore it, the worse it gets. Let's break down the different types of debt, from toxic to tolerable. First up, toxic debt. Credit cards. This is the absolute worst. We're talking 18 to 25% interest rates, some even higher. If you're only making minimum payments, you're basically throwing money into a fire. Credit card companies love minimum payers. They'll keep you in debt for decades.
Next, student loans. America's student loan crisis has ballooned to $1.7 trillion. That's trillion with a T. The average graduate leaves school with over $30,000 in debt. And unlike other debt, you can't even discharge it in bankruptcy. It follows you forever. Student loans are a trap, a necessary evil for many, but a trap nonetheless. Then there's the mortgage. Now this one's controversial. Is a mortgage leverage or is it a burden? It depends. If you bought a house you can actually afford in an area with strong appreciation and you're not house poor, then okay, it might be strategic. But if you're stretching to afford that McMansion, spending 50% of your income on housing, you're not leveraging, you're drowning. And finally, car loans. Here's a painful truth. The moment you drive that new car off the lot, it loses 20% of its value. Cars are depreciating assets. Borrowing money to buy something that loses value is financial insanity. Yet millions of Americans do it every single year, signing up for 5, 6, even 7-year car loans. Debt is everywhere, and it's suffocating the middle class. But here's the good news. You can get out, and there are 2 proven strategies to do it. The first is called the snowball method, popularized by Dave Ramsey. Here's how it works. List all your debts from smallest to largest, regardless of interest rate. Pay the minimum on everything except the smallest debt. Throw every extra dollar at that smallest debt until it's gone. Then move to the next smallest, then the next. Why does this work? Psychology. Paying off that first debt, even if it's small, gives you a win, a boost of motivation. You see progress. You feel momentum, and that momentum keeps you going. The second strategy is the avalanche method. This one's mathematical. List your debts from highest interest rate to lowest. Pay the minimum on everything except the highest interest debt. Attack that one with everything you've got. Once it's gone, move to the next highest rate. Why does this work? Math. You're minimizing the total interest you pay. Over time, you'll get out of debt faster and save more money than the snowball method.
So, which one should you choose? If you need quick wins, if you need motivation, if you're the kind of person who needs to see progress to stay committed, go snowball. If you're disciplined, if you can delay gratification, if you want to optimize every dollar, go avalanche. Personally, I don't care which one you choose. Just pick one and stick with it.
Let's run a real example so you can see the true cost of debt. Say you have $20,000 in credit card debt at 20% interest. Brutal, but unfortunately common. If you only make the minimum payment, which is usually around 2 to 3% of the balance, how long do you think it takes to pay off? 15 years! 15 years of payments! And by the time you're done, you won't have paid $20,000. You'll have paid $40,000. You'll have given the credit card company an extra $20,000 just for the privilege of borrowing. Now, let's say you get aggressive. You cut expenses, pick up a side hustle, and throw an extra $500 a month at that debt. How long does it take now? 2 years. Just 2 years. And your total payment? Around $24,000. Let's do the math. Aggressive payoff saves you $16,000 and 13 years of your life. $16,000. 13 years. That's the cost of minimum payments. Every month you stay in debt is another month of compound interest working against you. Every month is money being stolen from your future. All right, here's your step-by-step plan to obliterate your debt. Step 1. List every single debt you have. Credit cards, student loans, car loans, personal loans, medical bills, everything. Write down the total balance, the interest rate, and the minimum monthly payment. Get it all on paper. You can't fight an enemy you can't see. Step 2. Choose your method, snowball or avalanche. Flip a coin if you have to. Just decide. Step 3. Find extra money to attack the debt. This is non-negotiable. You can't get out of debt paying minimums. You need to find an extra $100, $200, $500 a month. How? 2 ways. Cut expenses or increase income. Cancel subscriptions you don't use. Cook at home instead of eating out. Sell stuff you don't need or pick up a side hustle. Try for Uber. Freelance online. Mow lawns. I don't care what you do. Find the money. Step 4. Visualize your progress. Make a chart. Use an app. Every time you make a payment, cross it off. Watch that balance shrink. Celebrate the small wins. This is a marathon, not a sprint. You need to stay motivated.
And here's a pro tip. Every time you pay off a debt, don't pocket that monthly payment. Roll it into the next debt. This is called the debt snowball effect, and it accelerates your payoff like crazy. Close your eyes for a second. Imagine what it feels like to be completely debt-free. No credit card payments, no student loan bills, no car payment, just freedom. Imagine waking up knowing that every dollar you earn is yours, not the bank's, yours. Imagine the weight lifted off your shoulders, the stress melting away, the options that suddenly open up. That's what's waiting for you on the other side of debt. So here's my question. This week, which debt are you going to attack? Are you going to throw an extra $50 at it? $100? How fast do you want your freedom? Because every extra dollar you pay today is $1 of compound interest you won't owe tomorrow. Every payment brings you one step closer to financial independence. Debt is the single biggest obstacle between you and wealth, but it's not permanent. It's not a life sentence. It's just a problem, and problems have solutions. In the next chapter, we're diving into budgeting, and I know what you're thinking. Budgeting sounds boring, restrictive. But here's the truth. A budget isn't about saying no. It's about giving every dollar a job. It's about intentionality. It's about control. When you budget, you're not restricting your life. You're designing it. But first, go make that debt list. Choose your method. Find your extra money. Your debt-free life is waiting, and it starts right now. Chapter 4.
Budgeting is science, not sacrifice. Let's talk about the word budget. For most people, it triggers an immediate reaction. Restriction, deprivation, no fun, living like a monk. That's the myth, and it's killing your financial future. Here's the truth. A budget is not about telling yourself no. A budget is about giving every dollar a job. It's about intentionality. It's about control. When you budget, you're not restricting your life. You're designing it.
Think about it this way. Would you build a house without a blueprint? Would you take a road trip without a map? Of course not. So why would you try to build wealth without a plan for your money? And here's what most people don't realize. The wealthy budget more than anyone. Warren Buffett tracks every expense. Mark Cuban knows exactly where his money goes. They didn't get rich by accident. They got rich by being intentional. A budget is your blueprint for financial freedom. It's the difference between drifting through life and steering your ship. And once you understand how to do it right, it's actually empowering, liberating even. There's no one-size-fits-all budget. Different strategies work for different people. Let me break down the 4 most popular methods, and you can choose the one that fits your style. First, the 50-30-20 rule, popularized by Senator Elizabeth Warren. It's simple. 50% of your income goes to needs. That's rent, groceries, utilities, transportation, the essentials. 30% goes to wants, dining out, entertainment, hobbies, travel. And 20% goes to savings and investments. That's your future. This method is great for beginners because it's straightforward and flexible. Next, the zero-based budget, championed by Dave Ramsey. This one flips the script. Instead of saving what's left over at the end of the month, you invest first. The moment your paycheck hits, you automatically transfer a set amount to savings or investments. Then you live on what's left. This is powerful because it prioritizes your future. You're not hoping to have money left over, you're guaranteeing it.
Finally, the envelope system. Old school but effective. You allocate cash into physical envelopes for each spending category: groceries, gas, entertainment. When the envelope is empty, you stop spending in that category. The modern version? Digital envelopes. Apps like YNAB and EveryDollar let you do this digitally. It forces awareness and prevents overspending. Pick the one that resonates with you, or mix and match. The point is to have a system. Now let's talk about the silent killers of wealth, the small leaks that sink big ships. Ever heard of the latte factor? It's a term coined by financial author David Bach. The idea is simple. Small, recurring expenses add up to massive amounts over time. That $5 coffee every morning, $35 a week, $150 a month, $1,800 a year. Over 10 years, that's $18,000. Invested? Over $30,000. I'm not saying never buy coffee, but be aware of what it costs you. Next, the subscription audit. When was the last time you used that gym membership, that streaming service you forgot you had, that software subscription on auto-renew? Americans waste billions every year on subscriptions they don't use. Go through your bank statements. Cancel the dead weight. That's free money. Then there's lifestyle inflation. This one's insidious. You get a raise, great. But instead of saving the extra income, you upgrade your lifestyle. Bigger apartment, nicer car, more expensive habits. Your income goes up, but your savings stay flat. Or worse, you go deeper into debt. Lifestyle inflation is the reason people making 6 figures still live paycheck to paycheck. The antidote? Conscious spending. Spend generously on the things you love. Cut ruthlessly on the things you don't. Love travel? Spend on that. Don't care about fancy cars? Buy used and invest the difference. A budget isn't about deprivation. It's about alignment. Spending on what truly matters to you.
20% to savings and investments. $1,000 a month. This is your ticket to financial freedom. Half goes to an emergency fund until you hit 6 months of expenses. The other half goes straight into investments, index funds, Roth IRA, whatever you choose. Now, let's zoom out. $1,000 a month is $12,000 a year. If you invest that at an average 8% return for 10 years, you'll have over $184,000. That's the power of consistent, intentional saving. But here's the thing. Most people don't hit the 20% savings rate, and that's okay. Start with 10% or even 5%. The key is to start. And then, every time you get a raise, increase your savings rate before you increase your spending. Lock in the gains. All right, let's talk tools. Budgeting doesn't have to be painful. There are apps that do the heavy lifting for you. First up, you need a budget. This is the gold standard. It's based on zero-based budgeting. Every dollar gets a job. It syncs with your bank accounts, tracks spending in real time, and helps you plan ahead. It's not free, but it's worth every penny. Most users save way more than the subscription cost in the first month. Next, Mint. This one's free. It connects to your accounts, categorizes your spending automatically, and shows you where your money's going. It's great for beginners who just want visibility. The downside? It's more reactive than proactive. It shows you what you spent, but it won't stop you from overspending. Then there's Personal Capital. This is more than a budgeting tool. It's a full financial dashboard. It tracks your net worth, analyzes your investment portfolio, and projects your retirement. If you want the big picture, this is it. Also free. And finally, the old school method. A spreadsheet, Google Sheets or Excel. No frills. Just you, your income, your expenses, and some simple formulas. Honestly, this is my favorite. It forces you to be hands-on. You feel every dollar. You see every category. It's manual, but it's powerful.
Choose the tool that fits your style. Just make sure you use it consistently. Here's your challenge. Pull up your bank statements from the last 3 months. Go through every transaction. Categorize them. Where is your money actually going? I bet you'll be surprised. You'll find leaks you didn't know existed, subscriptions you forgot about, impulse purchases that add up to hundreds of dollars. This exercise alone can free up $200 to $300 a month, easily. So here's the question. Where are you going to cut $200 this month? And what are you going to do with it? Pay down debt? Build your emergency fund? Invest? A budget isn't a cage. It's a ladder. It's the tool that lifts you out of financial chaos and into financial control. It's the difference between reacting to life and designing it. In the next chapter, we're diving into investing. You've calculated your net worth, you've started attacking your debt, you've built a budget. Now it's time to put your money to work. We're talking stocks, ETFs, index funds, the vehicles that will carry you to financial independence. But first, do the budget audit. Find your leaks, plug them, and redirect that money toward your future. Your financial freedom is closer than you think, and it starts with knowing where every dollar goes. Chapter 5. Entering the Investment World. Let's address the elephant in the room. Investing feels scary, intimidating, complicated. And you've probably told yourself, investing is for rich people, not for me. That's a lie, and it's costing you your future. Here's the truth. Investing is the only way to build real wealth. Saving money in a checking account won't get you there. Inflation will eat it alive. The stock market, over time, is where wealth is created. And it's not just for Wall Street types in suits. It's for you. It's for everyone. Now, you've probably heard the myth that you need to time the market. Buy low, sell high, pick the right stocks, beat the professionals. Wrong. That's gambling, not investing. And even the pros get it wrong most of the time. Warren Buffett, one of the greatest investors of all time, once gave advice to his own secretary about what to do with her money when he's gone. His recommendation? Put it in an S&P 500 index fund. Not individual stocks, not actively managed funds, just a simple, low-cost index fund that tracks the entire market. If it's good enough for Warren Buffett's secretary, it's good enough for you.
You don't need to be a genius. You don't need insider information. You just need to start and stay consistent. All right, let's demystify the investment world. There are a few core vehicles you need to understand. First, stocks. When you buy a stock, you're buying a piece of a company. You become a partial owner. If the company does well, your stock goes up. If it tanks, your stock goes down. Stocks are volatile, but over the long term, they've historically provided the best returns. The S&P 500, which tracks the 500 largest U.S. companies, has averaged about 10% annual returns over the last 50 years. Next, bonds. Think of bonds as loans. You're lending money to a government or corporation, and they pay you interest. Bonds are safer than stocks, but the returns are lower. They're the tortoise to stocks' hare. When you're young, you don't need a lot of bonds. But as you get older and closer to retirement, bonds provide stability. Then there are ETFs, exchange-traded funds. These are like baskets of stocks or bonds. Instead of buying one company, you're buying a collection. This gives you instant diversification. You're not putting all your eggs in one basket. If one company crashes, the others keep you afloat. ETFs are cheap, simple, and perfect for beginners. Index funds are similar to ETFs, but they're specifically designed to track an entire market index, like the S&P 500 or the total stock market. You're not trying to beat the market, you're becoming the market. And historically, that's been the smartest move. Finally, real estate. This is a different beast. You're buying physical property, renting it out, and generating income. Real estate offers leverage. You can put down 20% and control 100% of the asset. It appreciates over time, and you get tax benefits. But it's also hands-on and requires more capital up front. We'll dive deeper into real estate in a future chapter. For now, focus on stocks, ETFs, and index funds. Simple, effective, accessible. Now let's talk about risk. Every investment carries risk. The question is, how much can you handle?
This depends on two things: your age and your temperament. If you're young, in your 20s or 30s, you can afford to take more risk. Why? Because time is on your side. If the market crashes, you have decades to recover. So a typical allocation might be 80% stocks, 20% bonds. Aggressive, but smart. As you get older, say in your 50s or 60s, you want more stability. You don't have 30 years to recover from a crash. So you shift to 60% stocks, 40% bonds, or even 50-50. You're prioritizing preservation over growth. But here's the golden rule. Time in the market beats timing the market every single time. People who try to time the market, jumping in and out, buying at the perfect moment, selling at the peak, they almost always lose. Why? Because nobody can predict the market, not even the experts. The winners are the people who invest consistently through ups and downs and leave it alone. They don't panic when the market dips. They don't get greedy when it soars. They just keep investing. This is called dollar cost averaging. You invest a fixed amount every month, regardless of what the market is doing. When prices are high, you buy fewer shares.
When prices are low, you buy more. Over time, it averages out, and you avoid the emotional roller coaster. Set it, forget it, let compound interest do its thing. Let's talk performance. The S&P 500 has returned an average of 10% per year over the last 50 years. Not every year, of course. Some years it's up 30%. Other years it's down 20%. But over the long haul, it averages 10%. So if you invest $10,000 today and leave it for 30 years, how much do you think you'd have? $174,000. You didn't do anything. You just let it sit. That's the power of the market. But here's where most people screw up. They pay for actively managed funds. These are funds where a team of experts tries to beat the market. Sounds good, right? Wrong. Studies show that over 90% of actively managed funds fail to beat the market over the long term. And they charge you for the privilege of underperforming. The average actively managed fund charges about 1% in fees. Some charge even more.
1% doesn't sound like much, but over 30 years, it destroys your wealth. Let's say you invest $100,000. At 10% annual return with no fees, you'd have over $1.7 million in 30 years. But if you're paying 1% in fees, your return drops to 9%. Now you end up with $1.3 million. You just lost $400,000. 400 grand. Gone. Just because of fees. That's why index funds are king. They charge as little as 0.03%. That's $3 per 10,000 invested. Compare that to 1%, which is $100 per 10,000. The difference is staggering. Low fees, passive investing, long-term holding. That's the formula. All right, enough theory. Let's get you started. Step 1. Choose a broker. I recommend Vanguard, Fidelity, or Charles Schwab. All three are reputable, low-cost, and beginner-friendly. You can open an account online in less than 15 minutes. Step 2. Open a Roth IRA. This is a retirement account where you invest after-tax money, and it grows completely tax-free. You can contribute up to $7,000 per year. If you're under 50, max this out before anything else. It's one of the best wealth-building tools available. Step 3. Make your first investment. Start simple. Buy VTI, the Vanguard Total Stock Market ETF. This gives you exposure to the entire U.S. stock market. Over 3,000 companies. Instant diversification, low fees. 0.03%. You can start with as little as $100. Step 4. Automate it. Set up recurring investments. Every month, on payday, $100, $200, whatever you can afford, automatically goes into your investment account and buys more shares. You don't think about it, you don't feel it, you just watch it grow. This is how wealth is built. Not by getting lucky, not by picking the next hot stock, but by being consistent, disciplined, and patient.
So here's my question. Are you going to open that investment account this week, or are you going to keep putting it off? Because every week you wait is another week of potential growth lost forever. That $100 you invest today could be worth $1,000 in 30 years, but only if you start. Where are you going to find that first $100? Cancel a subscription. Skip a few dinners out. Sell something you don't use. Find it, invest it, and let it work for you. In the next chapter, we're diving into tax-advantaged accounts, your 401k, your Roth IRA, your HSA. These are legal hacks that let you keep more of your money and grow it faster. We're talking about free money from your employer, money the IRS can't touch. This is where the real magic happens. But first, open that account. Make that first investment. Your future self is counting on you. The clock is ticking. Your financial freedom is waiting. Let's go.
Chapter 6. Tax-Advantaged Accounts. Free money. Let me ask you a question. If I walked up to you on the street and offered to give you $750, would you take it? Of course you would. That's free money. Well, guess what? The average American is leaving exactly that much on the table every single year. $750, just sitting there, unclaimed. How? By not taking full advantage of their employer's 401k match. Here's how it works. Many employers offer to match your retirement contributions. If you put in 4% of your salary, they'll put in another 4%, or 3%, or 6%. It varies, but it's free money. It's an immediate 100% return on your investment. Think about that. Where else can you get a guaranteed 100% return? Nowhere. The stock market averages 10%, real estate maybe 8%, but your employer match? Instant double. Yet millions of Americans don't contribute enough to get the full match. They're literally saying no to free money. Don't be one of them.
If your employer offers a match and you're not maxing it out, you're making a massive financial mistake. This is the easiest, fastest, most guaranteed way to build wealth. And it costs you nothing extra. Let's break down the major tax-advantaged accounts. These are the tools the wealthy use to minimize taxes and maximize growth. And they're available to you too. First up, the traditional 401k. This is a retirement account offered by your employer. You contribute pre-tax dollars, meaning the money comes out of your paycheck before taxes are calculated. So if you make $50,000 a year and contribute $5,000 to your 401k, you only pay taxes on $45,000. Your taxable income drops. You save on taxes now. But when you retire and start withdrawing, you'll pay taxes then. Next, the Roth IRA. This is the opposite. You contribute after-tax dollars, so you don't get a tax break today. But here's the magic. When you retire and start withdrawing, it's completely tax-free. Zero taxes. All the growth, all the gains, tax-free forever. For 2025, you can contribute up to $7,000 per year. Then there's the HSA, Health Savings Account. This is the holy grail of tax-advantaged accounts. Triple tax advantage. You contribute pre-tax, it grows tax-free, and if you use it for medical expenses, you withdraw tax-free. Triple win. And here's the secret. You don't have to use it for medical expenses right now. You can let it grow for decades and use it in retirement. It's basically a stealth retirement account. For 2025, the contribution limit is $4,150 for individuals, $8,300 for families. Finally, if you're self-employed, there's the SEPIRA, Simplified Employee Pension. You can contribute up to 25% of your net earnings with a max of $69,000. It's one of the most powerful tools for entrepreneurs and freelancers. These accounts exist because the government wants you to save for retirement, so they give you tax breaks. Use them.
This is the question everyone asks. Should I do Roth or traditional? Here's the simple answer. It depends on your current tax situation and where you think taxes will be in the future. If you're young and in a low tax bracket, go Roth. Pay the taxes now while they're low. Let it grow tax-free for decades. When you're older and potentially in a higher tax bracket, you'll withdraw it tax-free. That's a huge win. If you're in a high tax bracket now, traditional might make more sense. Get the tax deduction today when it's worth more, pay the taxes later when you're retired and potentially in a lower bracket. But here's my advice. Diversify. Do both. Have some money in Roth accounts and some in traditional accounts. This gives you flexibility in retirement. You can strategically withdraw from each account to minimize taxes. There's also an advanced strategy called the Roth Conversion Ladder. This is for people planning early retirement. You convert traditional IRA money to Roth over time, paying taxes in low-income years. It takes planning, but it's incredibly powerful. Look it up if you're serious about FIRE. The key takeaway? Tax diversification is just as important as investment diversification. Let's run the numbers so you can see the real impact. Say you contribute $500 a month to your 401k. That's $6,000 a year. Your employer offers a 6% match, which adds another $3,600. So every year, $9,600 is going into your retirement account, and you only contributed $6,000. The rest is free. Now let's project this over 30 years at an average 8% return. After 30 years, you'll have $1.36 million. $1.36 million! And $365,000 of that came from your employer. Free money. But here's the kicker. If you didn't take the match and only invested your $6,000 per year, you'd end up with around $700,000. You'd leave over $600,000 on the table. $600,000 just because you didn't check a box and adjust your contribution percentage.
Do you see why this matters? And it gets better. Because this money is in a tax-advantaged account, it grows faster. You're not paying taxes on the gains every year like you would in a regular brokerage account. Every dollar stays invested, compounding, growing. This is how millionaires are made. Not through luck, not through inheritance, but through consistent contributions to tax-advantaged accounts over decades. All right, here's the exact order of operations to maximize your wealth building. Step 1. Contribute to your 401k up to the employer match. This is non-negotiable. If your employer matches 4%, contribute at least 4%. If they match 6%, contribute 6%. This is free money. Always take it. Step 2. Max out your Roth IRA, $7,000 per year. After you've grabbed the free employer match, shift focus to the Roth. Why? Because it grows tax-free forever. And you have more control over your investment choices compared to a 401k. Step 3. Go back to your 401k and increase contributions toward the max. For 2025, the limit is $23,000. If you can afford it, max it out. Every dollar you put in reduces your taxable income and grows tax deferred. Step 4. If you have a high deductible health plan, max out your HSA, $4,150 for individuals. This is the most tax-efficient account available. Triple tax advantage. Don't sleep on it. And if you're a high earner looking to squeeze even more into retirement accounts, look into the Mega Backdoor Roth. It's a strategy that lets you contribute up to an additional $46,000 into a Roth account through after-tax 401k contributions. It's advanced, but if you're making good money, it's worth exploring. The point is, there's a hierarchy. Follow it. Maximize every dollar. Here's your homework. Right now, go check your employer's 401k match policy. How much do they match? What percentage do you need to contribute to get the full match?
Are you currently contributing enough? If not, log into your payroll system today and increase your contribution, even if it's just 1 or 2%. Get that free money. And if you don't have a Roth IRA yet, open one this week. Vanguard, Fidelity, Schwab, pick one. Takes 15 minutes. Fund it with whatever you can, even if it's just $50 to start. The important thing is to open the account and make it real. These accounts are the legal loopholes the wealthy use to build and protect their wealth, and they're available to you too. Use them. In the next chapter, we're diving into passive income. This is the dream, right? Making money while you sleep. We'll talk about dividend stocks, rental properties, REITs, and other income streams that don't require you to trade your time for dollars. But first, secure your free money. Max that match. Open that Roth. Take action. Your future millionaire self is counting on you. Let's go. Chapter 7, The Passive Income Empire. Let's talk about the fundamental difference between how the middle class earns money and how the wealthy earn money. Active income, you trade your time for money. You work an hour, you get paid for an hour. You work 40 hours, you get paid for 40 hours. This is linear. If you want to earn more, you have to work more. There's a ceiling. You only have so many hours in a day. Passive income, you build a system once and it pays you over and over again. You're not trading time for money. You're leveraging assets. This is exponential. You can earn money while you sleep, while you're on vacation, while you're spending time with your family. Here's a stat that should open your eyes. According to IRS data, the average millionaire has 7 streams of income. 7. They're not relying on one paycheck. They've diversified their income. And most of those streams, passive. Here's the formula for financial freedom. Passive income greater than expenses. That's it. When your passive income covers your rent, your food, your bills, your life, you're free. You don't need a job anymore. You work because you want to, not because you have to. That's the dream. And it's not just for the ultra-wealthy. You can build this starting today.
Let's break down the main types of passive income. These are the vehicles that can carry you to financial independence. First, dividend stocks. When you buy shares of certain companies, they pay you a portion of their profits every quarter. It's like owning a piece of a money printing machine. You don't have to sell the stock. You just collect the dividends over and over. Companies like Coca-Cola, Johnson & Johnson, Procter & Gamble, they've been paying dividends for decades. Next, rental properties. You buy a property, rent it out, and collect monthly rent checks. Real estate has made more millionaires than any other asset class. Why? Leverage. You can control a $300,000 property with $60,000 down. Plus, you get tax benefits, depreciation, mortgage interest deductions, and over time, the property appreciates. Then there are REITs, real estate investment trusts. You get the benefits of real estate without owning physical property. REITs own shopping malls, apartment buildings, office spaces. They're required by law to pay out 90% of their profits as dividends. You invest a few $1,000s and start collecting quarterly checks. Easy. Digital products. E-books, online courses, apps, templates. You create it once and it sells forever. No inventory, no shipping. Pure profit. This is how people make money in their sleep. A course on Udemy, an e-book on Amazon, a Notion template. Once it's live, it's working for you 24/7. Affiliate marketing. You promote someone else's product and you earn a commission on every sale. Bloggers, YouTubers, influencers, they all do this. You don't handle the product, you don't deal with customer service. You just send traffic and you get paid. And finally, royalties. Write a book, record a song, patent an invention. Every time someone buys it, you get paid. Passive. Forever. These are the tools. Now let's talk about how to use them. Let's walk through a real example of how rental properties generate passive income. Say you buy a property for $300,000. You put down 20%, that's $60,000. You take out a mortgage for the remaining $240,000. Your monthly mortgage payment, including principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, comes out to about $1,800 a month. You rent the property out for $2,500 a month. After expenses like maintenance, property management, and occasional vacancies, let's say you net $700 a month in cash flow.
That's $8,400 a year. Passive. You're earning 14% return on your $60,000 investment. 14%! That beats the stock market average. But wait, gets better. Every month, your tenant is paying down your mortgage. That's equity building. Over 30 years, that $240,000 loan gets paid off by your tenant, not by you. And real estate appreciates. Historically, about 3 to 4% per year. So that $300,000 property could be worth $500,000 in 20 years. Plus, the tax benefits. You can deduct mortgage interest, property taxes, depreciation. It all lowers your taxable income. This is why real estate is so powerful. Cash flow, equity build, appreciation, and tax advantages, all working together. Now, I'm not saying go buy a rental property tomorrow. It takes capital, it takes knowledge. But it's absolutely a path to passive income, and millions of people have done it. Let's talk dividends. This is my favorite form of passive income because it's so accessible. You don't need $60,000. You can start with $100. There's a class of stocks called dividend aristocrats. These are companies that have increased their dividend payouts for 25 consecutive years or more. We're talking blue-chip companies, Johnson & Johnson, Coca-Cola, Procter & Gamble, McDonald's. They've been around forever, and they pay shareholders reliably. Let's say you build a portfolio of $100,000 in dividend-paying stocks. The average yield is about 4%. That's $4,000 a year in dividends, paid quarterly. You do nothing. You just hold the stocks and the money flows in. Now here's where it gets magical. Dividend reinvestment, DRIP. Instead of taking the cash, you automatically use the dividends to buy more shares. So your $4,000 in dividends buys more stock, which generates more dividends, which buys more stock. Compound interest on steroids. After 20 years, that $100,000 portfolio with dividends reinvested could grow to over $200,000. And now instead of $4,000 a year, you're earning $8,000 every year. Passive.
And the best part? Dividends are sticky. Even in recessions, even when stock prices drop, companies keep paying dividends. It's reliable income, it's predictable, and it's completely passive. All right, let's get practical. How do you start building passive income today? Step 1. Open a high-yield savings account. I know. Savings accounts aren't sexy, but they're safe and they pay interest. Right now, you can get 4 to 5% on online savings accounts like Marcus, Ally, or SoFi. It's not huge, but it's passive, and it's a start. Step 2. Buy a dividend ETF. These are funds that hold a basket of dividend-paying stocks. Two popular ones are VYM, Vanguard High Dividend Yield, and SCHD, Schwab U.S. Dividend Equity. You can buy them with as little as $100. Instant diversification, instant dividends. Step 3. Celebrate your first dividend payment. Seriously, when you get that first $5 or $10 in dividends, it's a milestone. It's proof that your money is working for you. That's the beginning of financial freedom. Step 4. Reinvest. Set up automatic dividend reinvestment. Every time you get paid, it buys more shares. More shares means more dividends. More dividends means more shares. The flywheel starts spinning. This is how you build a passive income empire. One investment at a time, one dividend at a time. Slow and steady, but unstoppable. So here's my question. 5 years from now, what passive income stream will you have built? Will you own dividend stocks paying you hundreds or thousands of dollars a year? Will you own a rental property generating monthly cash flow? Will you have a digital product selling on autopilot? Or will you still be trading every hour of your life for a paycheck? The choice is yours. When are you going to receive your first dividend payment? This month? Next month? The sooner you start, the sooner the money starts flowing. Passive income isn't magic. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a system, and it's available to anyone willing to learn and take action. In the next chapter, we're diving deep into mindset, because here's the truth. 80% of wealth building is psychology. It's not about what you know. It's about how you think. We're going to rewire your brain, destroy limiting beliefs, and adopt the mindset of the wealthy.
But first, take action. Open that high-yield savings account. Buy that first dividend ETF. Start building your passive income empire. Your financial freedom is closer than you think. Let's go. Chapter 8. The Wealthy Mindset. Psychological Transformation. Robert Kiyosaki, author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, said it best. The primary difference between a rich person and a poor person
is how they think. Not how much money they have, not where they were born, not luck. It's mindset. You can give two people the same amount of money, and one will multiply it while the other loses it. Why? Because wealth isn't just about math. It's about psychology. It's about beliefs. It's about how you see money, opportunity, and risk. There are two dominant mindsets when it comes to money: scarcity and abundance. Scarcity mindset says there's never enough. Money is hard to get. Opportunities are limited. If someone else wins, I lose. This mindset is rooted in fear, and it's incredibly common. Most of us were raised with it. You probably heard phrases like, "Money doesn't grow on trees. We can't afford that. Rich people are greedy." These are scarcity beliefs, and they were programmed into your subconscious as a child. Abundance mindset says there's more than enough. Money is a tool. Opportunities are everywhere. If someone else wins, it doesn't affect me. I can create my own success. This mindset is rooted in possibility, and it's how the wealthy think. Here's the truth. Your beliefs about money will determine your financial reality. If you believe you'll never be wealthy, you won't be. If you believe wealth is possible, you'll find a way. The first step to financial freedom is reprogramming your subconscious, and that starts with awareness. Let's do a side-by-side comparison. Poor mindset versus rich mindset. Listen closely. You might recognize yourself in some of these. Poor mindset says, "I don't have money." Rich mindset asks, "How can I get money?" See the difference. One is a statement of defeat. The other is a question that opens possibilities. Poor mindset says, "Investing is too risky." Rich mindset asks, "How do I manage the risk?" Poor people avoid risk entirely. Rich people understand risk and strategize around it.
Poor mindset says, I need to save money. Rich mindset says, I need to invest money. Saving is defensive. Investing is offensive. Saving protects what you have. Investing grows what you have. Poor mindset says, I need a stable job. Rich mindset says, I need multiple income streams. Job security is an illusion. Companies downsize, industries change. The wealthy don't rely on one income source, they diversify. And here's the biggest one. Poor mindset says, I work for money. Rich mindset says, money works for me. Poor people trade time for dollars. Rich people build assets that generate income. They leverage, they scale, they create systems. Which side do you fall on? Be honest, because awareness is the first step to change. Let's talk about emotions, because investing, saving, and building wealth isn't just logical, it's deeply emotional. The two emotions that dominate financial markets are fear and greed. When the market crashes, fear takes over. People panic and sell at the worst possible time. When the market skyrockets, greed takes over. People chase hot stocks and buy at the peak. Both are mistakes. Both are driven by emotion, not logic. Then there's FOMO, fear of missing out. You see Bitcoin skyrocket and you think, I need to get in before it's too late. So you buy at the top. Then it crashes and you lose money. FOMO is the enemy of smart investing. Warren Buffett has a famous quote, "Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful." When everyone is panicking and selling, that's when you should be buying. When everyone is euphoric and buying, that's when you should be cautious. This is contrarian thinking, and it's how fortunes are made. But here's the problem. Emotions override logic. You know you should stay calm. You know you should stick to the plan. But when you see your portfolio down 20%, fear kicks in. You want to sell. You want to stop the pain. This is why discipline beats emotion every single time. The solution? Automate. Remove emotion from the equation. Set up automatic investments, dollar cost averaging.
You invest the same amount every month, regardless of what the market is doing. You don't have to make decisions. You don't have to feel the fear or the greed. You just stay the course. Automated investing is emotional intelligence in action.
Let's talk about the lies you've been told, the beliefs that are holding you back. Limiting belief number 1. You have to be lucky to get rich. This is a myth. Luck plays a role, sure, but wealth is primarily the result of decisions, habits, and discipline. You don't need to win the lottery. You need to invest consistently, live below your means, and let compound interest work its magic. Limiting belief number 2. Money doesn't buy happiness. This one's tricky because it's partially true. Once you hit a certain income level, around $75,000 a year, more money doesn't significantly increase day-to-day happiness. But here's what money does buy: freedom, options, security, the ability to spend time with loved ones, the ability to pursue your passions. Money doesn't buy happiness, but it buys freedom, and freedom leads to happiness. Limiting belief number 3. You can't get rich young. Wrong. Dead wrong. Thanks to compound interest, starting young is the biggest advantage you can have. A 25-year-old investing $500 a month will be a millionaire by 55. That's 30 years. You absolutely can build wealth young. In fact, it's easier when you're young because time is on your side. Here's your new belief. Financial freedom is a choice. It's not luck. It's not magic. It's a decision followed by consistent action. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are the architect of your future. So how do you actually change your mindset? It's not enough to just say, think positive. You need a system. Step 1, start a money journal. Write about your relationship with money. What are your earliest money memories? What did your parents teach you about money? What are your fears, your desires? Get it all on paper. This creates awareness, and awareness is the foundation of change. Step 2, use affirmations. I know it sounds cheesy, but it works. Every morning, say out loud, I am worthy of financial freedom. I am capable of building wealth. Money flows to me easily. Your subconscious listens to what you repeat. Program it with empowering beliefs. Step 3, read the books. Study the wealthy. Learn their mental models. Books like Think and Grow Rich, The Millionaire Next Door, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. These books rewire your brain. They show you how successful people think, and thinking precedes action. Step 4, change your environment. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you're surrounded by people who complain about money, who live paycheck to paycheck, who think wealth is impossible, you'll stay stuck. Find people who are financially ambitious. Join online communities. Listen to podcasts about finance. Surround yourself with growth. Mindset isn't static. It's malleable. You can change it, but you have to be intentional.
But here's the real magic. A side hustle can evolve. It starts as extra income. Then it becomes passive income. Then it becomes a full-blown business. This is the progression, and it's how people break free from the 9-to-5 grind. You're not just earning money. You're building an asset. You're creating optionality, and that's priceless. Let's break down the different types of side hustles. There's something for everyone. You just need to find what fits your skills, your schedule, and your goals. First, skill-based hustles. If you have a marketable skill, you can freelance. Writing, graphic design, web development, video editing, marketing. Platforms like Upwork, Fiverr, and Freelancer connect you with clients all over the world. You set your own rates, you work on your own schedule, and once you build a client base, the work can be steady. Consulting is another option. If you have expertise in a specific area, companies will pay you for your knowledge. Business strategy, HR, tech, whatever your field. Consultants charge anywhere from $50 to $500 an hour. It's high leverage work. Next, time-based hustles. These are gig economy jobs. Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, Instacart, TaskRabbit. You trade time for money. It's flexible. You can work nights, weekends, whenever, but it's not scalable. You can only work so many hours. Still, if you need cash fast, this is a solid option. Then there's the digital hustle. YouTube, blogging, podcasting, online courses. You create content once and it pays you over and over. This is the dream. It takes time to build, but once it's rolling, it's passive income. People are making thousands a month teaching what they know. Finance, fitness, cooking, whatever. If you have knowledge, you can monetize it. Creative hustles. Etsy, print on demand, stock photography. If you're artistic, you can sell your creations online. Handmade jewelry, digital art, t-shirt designs, photos. You create it, upload it, and the platform handles the sales. It's scalable and mostly passive. And finally, service-based hustles. Dog walking, pet sitting, house sitting, tutoring. These are simple, low barrier to entry options. Apps like Rover, Care.com, and Wag make it easy to find clients. It's not glamorous, but it's real money.
Pick the one that excites you. Or try a few and see what sticks. Let me tell you about 3 real people who turned side hustles into serious income. Sarah. She worked a full-time corporate job but loved making jewelry, so she opened an Etsy shop. She spent a few hours every weekend creating pieces, posted them online. Over time, her shop grew. Repeat customers, word of mouth. Within 2 years, she was making $800 a month. Passive. She wasn't actively selling. The shop was running itself. That's $600 after costs, straight profit. She puts it all into her investment accounts. Mike. He was obsessed with personal finance, so he started a YouTube channel. He posted videos about budgeting, investing, credit cards. At first, nobody watched, but he kept going. Consistent uploads, better thumbnails, better content. After 18 months, the algorithm picked him up. Now he's pulling in $2,000 a month from ad revenue and sponsorships. He works 5 to 10 hours a week on it, and it's growing. Lisa, graphic designer by trade. She had a full-time job, but she started taking freelance gigs on the side through Upwork. She worked 5 hours a week, evenings and weekends. Within 6 months, she had steady clients paying her $1,500 a month. She's putting that straight into her Roth IRA and brokerage account. In 5 years, she'll have enough saved to go full-time freelance if she wants. Real people, real numbers, real freedom. I already know what you're thinking. I don't have time for a side hustle. I'm already working 40 hours a week. I'm exhausted. I get it. But let's be real. You have time. You're just not using it wisely. 1 hour a day. That's it. 1 hour. That's 30 hours a month. 30 hours is enough to build something real. Where's that hour going to come from? Easy. Cut the nonsense. The average American watches 3 hours of TV a day. 3 hours. Cut that in half. Boom, you just found 90 minutes. Social media. You're scrolling for an hour a day, probably more. Cut it to 30 minutes. There's another 30 minutes. You now have 2 hours a day. Use one for your side hustle. Keep the other for rest and relaxation. You don't have to grind yourself into the ground. Just be intentional. Now, let's talk about hierarchy. Not all side hustles are created equal. You want high return on investment, high ROI. Freelancing, high ROI. You're leveraging a skill and you can charge premium rates. Driving for Uber, low ROI. You're trading time for money at a low rate. It works if you need cash now, but it's not scalable. Digital products, high ROI. You create once, sell forever. Scalable and passive. Focus on scalable hustles, things that can grow without you having to work more hours.
That's the key to building real wealth. All right, let's get tactical. Here's how you actually start. Step 1, skill inventory. What are you good at? What do people come to you for advice on? What have you been paid to do in the past? Write it down. Brainstorm. You have skills. You just need to identify them. Maybe you're great at organizing. Offer virtual assistant services. Maybe you're good with numbers. Offer bookkeeping for small businesses. Maybe you're handy. Offer handyman services on TaskRabbit. There's a market for almost everything. Step 2, market research. Is there demand for your skill? Go to Upwork or Fiverr. Search for your skill. See what other people are charging. See how many jobs are posted. If there's demand, you're in business. Step 3, create your MVP, minimum viable product. Don't overthink it. Don't wait until it's perfect. Just create your first offer. Set up a profile on a freelance platform. Post your first product on Etsy. Upload your first YouTube video. Imperfect action beats perfect inaction. Step 4, get your first $100. This is the psychological milestone. Once you make your first $100 from something you built, you'll realize it's real, it's possible, and you'll be motivated to keep going. And here's the key. Don't spend that first $100. Invest it. Put it into your brokerage account. Buy dividend stocks. Let it compound. That's how side hustles turn into wealth. So here's my question. What skill do you have that you can turn into money? Are you a good writer? Start freelancing. Are you good with kids? Start tutoring. Are you creative? Start an Etsy shop. Are you knowledgeable about something? Start a YouTube channel or a blog. This week, where are you going to create a profile? Upwork? Fiverr? Etsy? YouTube? Pick one. Set it up, even if you don't have everything figured out. Just start. And when you make your first side hustle income, what are you going to do with it? Spend it on something frivolous or invest it? Compound it. Build your future. The answer should be obvious. A side hustle is more than extra money. It's freedom. It's security. It's the difference between being stuck and having options. In the next chapter, we're bringing it all together, the master plan. We're going to map out exactly how you can retire at 40, 45, or 50, with real numbers, real timelines, real strategies. This is where everything you've learned comes together. But first, start your side hustle. Find that extra income stream. Build your safety net. Your financial independence is waiting. Let's go get it.
Chapter 10, The Master Plan, Early Retirement Formula. We've covered a lot of ground: compound interest, debt elimination, budgeting, investing, tax-advantaged accounts, passive income, mindset, side hustles. Now it's time to bring it all together. Let me give you the formula for financial independence. It's simple, elegant, and it works. Your financial independence number equals your annual expenses times 25. That's it. That's the formula. Why 25? Because of the 4% rule. Research shows that if you withdraw 4% of your portfolio each year, adjusted for inflation, your money will last at least 30 years, probably longer, most likely forever. So if you spend $40,000 a year, you need $1 million invested. 4% of $1 million is $40,000. Your investments cover your life. You don't need a job anymore. If you spend $30,000 a year, you need $750,000. If you spend $60,000 a year, you need $1.5 million. Your number will be different from mine, different from your neighbor's. It depends on your lifestyle, your goals, your expenses. But once you hit that number, you're financially independent. You've won the game. Everything after that is just extra. Now, how long does it take to reach financial independence? That depends on one critical factor: your savings rate. Your savings rate is the percentage of your income that you invest. Not save in a checking account.
Invest. Here's the math, and it's going to blow your mind. If you save 10% of your income, it'll take you 51 years to reach financial independence. If you save 20%, 37 years. If you save 30%, 28 years. If you save 40%, 22 years. If you save 50%, 17 years. See the pattern? The higher your savings rate, the faster you're free. And it's not linear, it's exponential. Now, there are different flavors of FIRE, financial independence, retire early. Let me break them down. Coast FIRE. You invest aggressively early, then stop contributing. You let compound interest do the rest. You still work, but you don't stress about retirement. It's handled. Lean FIRE. You live a minimalist lifestyle, low expenses. You retire early, but you live frugally, maybe $30,000 to $40,000 a year. You prioritize freedom over luxury. Fat FIRE. You want to retire early and maintain a high standard of living. You're targeting $2 million, $3 million, maybe more. This takes longer, but you retire wealthy. Barista FIRE. You hit financial independence, but keep working part-time. Just enough to cover health insurance and daily expenses. Your investments handle the rest. You work because you want to, not because you have to. Pick the one that resonates with you. There's no right answer, just the answer that's right for you. Let's run a real scenario. Numbers, timeline, strategy.
Say you're 30 years old. You make $50,000 a year after taxes. Your current net worth is $10,000. You want to retire by 45. First, calculate your expenses. Let's say you live on $30,000 a year. That means you're saving $20,000, 40% savings rate. Excellent. Your financial independence number is 30,000 times 25, $750,000. You already have $10,000 invested. You need another $740,000. If you invest $20,000 a year at an average 8% return, how long does it take? About 18 years. You'd hit financial independence at 48. But wait, you want to retire at 45. So you need to increase your savings rate. What if you cut expenses to $25,000 and save $25,000 a year? That's 50% savings rate. Now your FI number drops to $625,000 and you're investing $25,000 a year. At 8%, you hit your number in about 15 years. You retire at 45. Or what if you start a side hustle and earn an extra $10,000 a year? Now you're investing $35,000. You hit financial independence in 13 years. You retire at 43. Do you see how this works? Every variable you control speeds up your timeline. Cut expenses, increase income, invest aggressively. The formula doesn't lie. All right, let's map out your journey, step by step, month by month, year by year. Today, right now, calculate your net worth. Every asset, every debt, know your starting point. Then open an investment account if you don't have one. Vanguard, Fidelity, Schwab, pick one. Do it today. This week, build your budget. Track every dollar. Figure out where your money is going. Identify leaks, cut the nonsense, redirect that money toward your future. This month, create a debt payoff plan. Snowball or avalanche, I don't care. Just pick one and execute. Set up automatic investments, even if it's just 50 or $100. Automate it. Remove the friction. 3 months. Build your emergency fund. $1,000 to start. This protects you from life's curveballs. Once you have that cushion, you can invest more aggressively. 6 months. Launch your side hustle. Find that extra income stream. Freelance, gig work, digital products, whatever. The goal is to boost your savings rate. Every extra dollar you earn is a dollar closer to freedom. 1 year. You should have at least $10,000 invested by now, maybe more. You're receiving your first dividend payments. You're seeing compound interest in action. You're hooked. You're motivated. You're unstoppable. 5 years. Your net worth is over $100,000. You've built passive income streams. Dividends are rolling in. Maybe you own a rental property. Maybe you have a digital product generating income. You're not just dreaming about financial independence anymore. You're living it.
10 to 15 years, you've hit your number. You're financially independent. You can retire if you want, or you can keep working because you love it. The choice is yours. That's freedom. Let me tell you about James. Real person, real story. James was 28 when he discovered the FIRE movement. He was making $55,000 a year as a software engineer, living paycheck to paycheck, $30,000 in student loans, no savings, no plan. He made a decision. He was going to retire by 45. He cut his expenses ruthlessly, moved into a smaller apartment, sold his car and biked to work, meal prepped every Sunday, no restaurants, no subscriptions. He got his expenses down to $25,000 a year. He maxed out his 401k, maxed out his Roth IRA, invested in index funds. He started a side hustle, doing freelance coding on weekends. That brought in an extra $15,000 a year. He paid off his student loans in 2 years. Then he redirected that money into investments. Every raise he got, he invested. He didn't inflate his lifestyle. Fast forward 16 years. James is 44. His portfolio is worth $1.2 million. He generates $40,000 a year in passive income from dividends and rental properties. He just submitted his resignation. Was it easy? No. Did he sacrifice? Absolutely. He drove a used car while his friends bought new ones. He stayed in while they went out. He traveled budget while they went luxury. But now, he's free. He wakes up without an alarm. He spends his days hiking, reading, volunteering. He works on passion projects. He's stress-free. He's living life on his terms. I asked him, "Do you regret it? Do you regret the sacrifices?" He said, "Are you kidding? This is the best decision I ever made. I traded a few years of minor discomfort for a lifetime of freedom. I'd do it again in a heartbeat." That's the power of the plan. That's what's waiting for you. So here we are, the end of the audiobook. But really, it's just the beginning.
You've listened to 10 chapters. You've learned the strategies. You understand compound interest, debt elimination, budgeting, investing, tax advantages, passive income, mindset, and side hustles. But knowledge without action is worthless. The question is, what are you going to do now? Are you going to close this app, go back to your life, and forget everything you heard? Or are you going to take action? A year from now, you'll wish you started today. 5 years from now, you'll thank yourself for starting today. The difference between financial freedom and financial stress is the decision you make right now. This isn't about luck. It's not about privilege. It's not about being born into wealth. It's about decisions, discipline, consistency. Financial freedom is a choice, and you get to make that choice right now, today. You can do this. I know you can, because thousands of ordinary people have done it before you. They weren't special. They weren't geniuses. They just decided, committed, and executed. You have everything you need. The roadmap is clear. The tools are available. The only thing standing between you and financial independence is action. So, take the first step, then the second, then the third. Keep going. Don't stop. And one day, sooner than you think, you'll wake up financially free. Right now, pull out your phone, download a brokerage app. Vanguard, Fidelity, Schwab. Do it now. This week, invest your first $100. It doesn't matter if it's 50 or 200, just start. Make it real. This year, invest at least $5,000. Build your emergency fund. Pay down debt. Launch a side hustle. Hit your milestones. And I want to hear from you. What's your financial independence number? What's your timeline? Share it in the comments. Join the community. You're not alone in this journey. Thousands of people are on the same path. Connect with them. Support each other. Hold each other accountable. Financial freedom isn't a solo mission. It's a movement. And you're part of it now. Your financial freedom journey starts today. Not tomorrow, not next month, today. The alarm clock doesn't have to control your life. The bills don't have to stress you out. The 9 to 5 doesn't have to define you. You can be free. You will be free. Your financial freedom journey starts now. Let's go.